story. Now, Andrew Levi is a former senior British diplomat who was posted to Moscow. Andrew, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, Andrew, how do you think Moscow will be playing this one?
The people we're dealing with, people Keir Starmer and Donald Trump and others are dealing with in Moscow, are, as we all now know, a group of ex-KGB agents. They're known in Russian as siloviki. It means hard men. That's their self-image. And what they care about is their rule, their power, their unimaginable wealth, which they've stolen, and their survival. And when we talk about imperial Russian dreams and they want to get this territory to reconstitute the Russian Empire or that sort of thing, there's an element of that. But really, they are on an expansionist path because it's the dynamic of the way they think about power, wealth, and survival. The more resources, the more territory they can either take for themselves or deny to others, the better for them. And they will not stop unless they can't progress. And so the question for us, the question for the NATO, and President Trump and so on, is how does one get them to stop? And they will be looking at the meeting in Anchorage. Mr. Putin will be looking at the meeting in Anchorage and saying, well, I did pretty well there because I got President Trump to agree, as it seems, that I can take over great chunks of Ukraine without even a ceasefire to be put in place before negotiations take place. So I can carry on killing while the negotiations go on, which puts me in by far the stronger position in the negotiations.
Should you say that that's Mark Rutte from NATO who's just arriving at the White House as we speak to Andrew Levi there. We'll keep you updated as more arrive. Andrew, missiles continue to rain down on Ukraine even after those talks the other day. How significant is that? Was that a deliberate move, do you think, by Putin?
It's a deliberate move, and it's also part of a continuum. This month, 17 years ago, I was called into the Foreign Office as an urgent call out of hours to come in and lead the crisis unit because Georgia had just been invaded and everybody was caught on the hop, and our leaders in Britain and elsewhere were absolutely horrified and furious with their officials for not having told them, although officials had told them quite a bit. And that was a war of aggression against Georgia. And the war of aggression against Ukraine started in 2014 and then blew up again even more in 2022, as we know. And, firing missiles, sending in tanks, sending in troops, blowing up civilian buildings, attacking a country which has done nothing to them is the modus operandi of Putin and the very, very narrow, very small group of people around him who are in charge of everything in Russia.
Yeah, Ursula von der Leyen has just arrived at the White House. Again, we'll keep you updated as those leaders arrive throughout the show. Andrew, US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff was in Friday's meetings with President Putin, and he spoke to Shannon Bream on Fox News yesterday. She asked him what was meant by security guarantees and what the US was willing to bring to the table. Let's just have a little listen to some of that interview.
The United States is potentially prepared to be able to give Article 5 security guarantees, but not from NATO, directly from the United States and other European countries. That is big. I mean, really big.
Does it mean boots on the ground? What does it mean, but logistically?
I think part of the discussion that we're going to have on Monday throughout the day, because there's going to be breakout sessions there, is exactly the specifics of what the Ukrainians feel that they need.
I'm speaking to Andrew Levi, former British diplomat posted to Moscow. Andrew, what did you make of that?
Yes, I heard Mr. Witkoff, and also in another interview he did with CBS yesterday, and also Secretary of State Rubio, who added to that, well, we must take the world as it is, we must be realistic, essentially saying that Ukraine has to give up territory. And if it does give up territory, it will get or might get these guarantees. You were speaking to Professor Anthony King just before, and he explained the considerable complexity of giving an Article 5 type guarantee, which for everybody listening, they may remember that in NATO there's this core article that says if one NATO member is attacked, others will come to their aid. But to do that realistically, you need not just the forces, but you need the structures behind. So you need the NATO headquarters, the main headquarters, and other operational units. And it's not at all clear that that can be put in place. And if it were put in place, it would effectively be a duplication of NATO, in which case, why not just put Ukraine into NATO? I mean, you could say, well, Putin doesn't like that idea and will refuse it, but he will see through anything that is equivalent to a NATO guarantee. So I think Mr. Witkoff is right to say it's really big, but it's very difficult to see how it could possibly work.
And Andrew, if no land is swapped, is there a world where Vladimir Putin can say the war, from his perspective, from a Russian perspective, has been a success?
Putin will continue the war. Let's just be clear about that. Any pause, any supposed peace treaty, as there was after 2014 and the invasion of Crimea and other parts of Ukraine, and the Minsk agreements, which some people listening may remember, which Putin and Russia have serially broken, it will be a pause for Russia to regroup and attack Ukraine again, attack other parts of Europe. But when we're talking about land swaps, there is no swap. I mean, which parts of Russia is Mr. Putin intending to give to Ukraine? Well, we all know the answer to that. It's absolutely none. So he's asking for, or he's demanding, perhaps is a better way of putting it, everything that he already has troops occupying and more. So it's take and take. There's no give and take in this at all.
Well, Andrew, thank you very much for your time. Always grateful for your commentary on 5 Live. That's Andrew Levy, former senior British diplomat who was posted to Moscow. It's now 5:20.